The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
All right, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup. And here we are on this Monday morning, the 8th day of March. And, Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? Well, apparently, we'll check it here because I'm going to slide the slide up here. We have State Representative Stephen Meeks zooming in this morning from Atlanta. Stephen, you there?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right.
Sounds good.
Fine.
Not sure why I couldn't make it work the other Mondays, but it worked this morning.
Good. Well, here's Bob.
Well, the first thing, of course, is this past Friday, the Georgia House approved the $27.2 billion state budget for the coming year that would borrow $1 billion for construction projects, continue to backfill spending cuts the lawmakers made in 2020 to the COVID-19 pandemic. So just get your thoughts on the proposed budget.
Well, it was good morning. I hope everybody had a good weekend, and we did last week finish up the budget. It's a good step in the right direction. We have restored some of the austerity cuts that we made in the previous budgets, and as we sit in these committee rooms and hear testimony from the different departments, it is really eye-opening when you dig down, as we did in general government. And one of the things that we did address in the bill is within the Department of Driver Services, and the commissioner actually, in his comments to us, testified that he was actually losing some of his employees to the fast food industry within communities in which they live and work. So we were able to go in and do a 10% pay raise for those individuals who, frankly, service our constituents. Those are at the counters at the Department of Public Service service centers when you go to renew your driver's license or take a driving exam, et cetera. But we were able to do that, and I think it's and we found that money within the budget. That was not new spending at all, but we did, as you mentioned, passed the 22 budget with a total of $27.2 billion in spending, and about 90% of the new revenue for 22 is within education, as well as youth and health and human services for different programs there, particularly for mental health. So we did get that done. Now it moves over to the Senate for Chairman Tillery and them to do what they're going to do, and then we'll end up in the conference, I'm sure, later this year.
And, Stephen, for those that may not understand what austerity cuts are, I know the education people are excited. I know the school board was looking for that to happen. Explain what you're doing as far as, backfilling those education cuts.
Well, within the previous fiscal year's budget, there, we started about a 15% cut. We ended up at a 10% cut. So within the 10% that we reduced spending last year for fiscal year 21, what we did is we went back and restored 60% of that 10% cut. So we're not fully back to where we were, but we did make a big step back toward restoring that, more or less that 10% cut in totality that we had to take last year as we were beginning to address the pandemic that we're beginning to see across our state and not knowing where our budget would be. But, the fiscal year we've ended up, the past fiscal year in good shape, and we continue to see, it's not that we won't see headwinds in the future, but, right now we're the state's in pretty good shape.
When the governor ran, rural Georgia was a big part of his backing, and he said he would look after rural Georgia. And this budget does have a plan to spend $40 million on a rural innovation fund and $10 million to extend high-speed internet into rural areas. So tell us about that. What all is included in that $40 million innovation fund?
Well, it's as the governor, as you mentioned, and the governor continues to talk about rural Georgia and what we need to do to create jobs, and we know small businesses are the backbone of our economy, especially in rural Georgia. And as we look to the future and figuring out what we can do and how we can best grow our economy and grow our jobs in rural Georgia, one of those things that the governor has said from day one, and I campaigned on and have worked toward, and that's rural broadband and expanding that. And we, the governor included in his recommendation $10 additional million for the One Georgia Authority that would provide grants and allow local municipalities and or local, federal, and private resources to all be leveraged with those funds. And we provided an additional $20 million, I do believe, in the amended budget, House Bill 80, that we passed for rural broadband, an additional $10 million this year. And I think the governor's overall goal was $40 million for that fund to go ahead and make sure we've got some challenges, but we're working through. There's been some big announcements with the EMCs, particularly in the middle of Georgia, up in North Georgia, and hopefully we'll continue to see some of those organizations come together and figure out ways to utilize what is considered dark fiber or fiber that's already laid that's just not being used to capacity to provide the rural broadband to a greater area across rural Georgia.
If you're just joining us, State Representative Stephen Meeks on the phone. Also, this past Friday, a bill passed the House that would have the state stay on daylight savings time permanently, doing away with the twice-a-year time changes. I was interested in the vote. I mean, it was overwhelming, 112 to 48. So tell us about that. But I understand even if this passes, the Congress has to pass this, and apparently federal law currently prohibits states from observing daylight savings time year-round. So why would you pass a bill that you already know the Congress has said can't go forward? I don't understand that.
Well, I think the overwhelming response that we've had, and I've had calls on both sides. The Senate version, as we like to say, our folks on the other side are often in the dark, so they prefer to stay at standard.
Did you record that, Jonathan? We want to play that back tomorrow. We want to play that back tomorrow for Blake. Do you know what Steven said about y'all?
We prefer the sunlight, so we've moved ahead with the daylight savings times permanent bill, and which would require authorization from Congress. I do believe that the standard time is what the Senate had proposed. So it'd be an interesting conference to see how these two are worked out, because I don't think there's a happy medium in between. It's either one or the other.
But Stephen, you're in agriculture. Wouldn't you rather see standard time than the daylight savings time? Wouldn't you rather have that sunshine in the morning? As an agricultural person, from the folks that I've talked to, the majority of them have said daylight savings time. All right.
Of course,
so it goes with your constituents what they want.
The days get longer during the summer. It's daylight pretty early, and it stays daylight pretty late or later in the day. So that's been and we've gone back and forth with some of our ag groups, and the majority of them that we hear from are supportive of the daylight savings time. Okay.
Well, I didn't know. I would have thought opposite on that, but I guess I was wrong. So,
but we will. And I understand that the several Congress, particularly Congressman Sanford Bishop from over in West Georgia, to see if we can get that ball rolling at a congressional level to seek that approval, as we will need.
Okay.
Time.
All right. Well, thank you, Stephen.
Another interesting issue, most people thought it was dead in the water, has been for the last couple of years, but the gambling issue continues to seem to get traction. So where they passed some legislation where they're talking about approving that. Tell us about that.
That's one piece of legislation. I'm not sure how many lives it has, but it continues to pop up off and on, and has again. I presume we will see that sometime today. I thought we would have already seen the sports betting bill, but we have not yet. But it's there's opposition and support to both sides of it. It's one that provides some additional monies for the Hope Scholarship. So we'll take a look at that as it moves forward in that debate. I haven't talked to the chairman to see for sure whether or not it'll be on the floor today, but my guess is we may see it sometime.
That's the caveat they throw, that it's going to add so much more money to the Hope Scholarship Fund. There's different figures I've heard and I've seen, 10 million, 40 million. Do you have any idea what that figure definitely would be if it did pass? Can they lock that in and let you know how much that would bring to the Hope Scholarship, or is that just figures being thrown out there?
I don't think we have that. I think they could probably give us some data, but I don't know if they could tell us for sure how much it would add. I mean, it would really come down to I'm not sure. At least in the circles that I run, I'm not sure how many of our folks would venture out into that sport. So I don't know that.
Is that money really needed? Is that money really needed for the Hope Scholarship? I mean, is the Hope Scholarship, are we using up all the funds and people waiting in line for money where they're, making the A's and B's and stuff like that in college like they're supposed to qualify?
Well, I think probably the way it's being viewed is as a way to get sports betting passed. Let's tie it to the lottery so that we can do it that way. And is that the first step to casinos and horse racing? It could probably be argued that way, but I'd say it's probably as a way to get it passed is to tie it back to the Georgia lottery and provide that income for Hope Scholarships. And we've not gotten an indication that, at least from the numbers that I've seen, that the lottery is in any danger and needs additional funding. Obviously, if we can continue to help kids receive an education, that's what's important. But I haven't seen dollars that indicate it's needed at this point. But I think it's a way that for those who are supporting the bill, would say, hey, here's a way we can gain some more support for it if we tie it back to the Georgia lottery, the Hope Scholarship.
What else is on the, I know today is where educators can get the vaccine. How do you see that playing out?
Right. Yes, today starts that process for educators to receive it. I did send the email to the department. I've not gotten a response yet to see, and give recommendations on who to contact. My initial response is and has been contact the local health department. I know some school systems are trying to coordinate within the system themselves on how to do that so teachers can do it on site. And a lot of that conversation has been in the metro Atlanta area. But I'd contact the sites that are administering those vaccines, whether it be Walgreens or CVS. I know there's a mass site going to open up in Waycross, I believe, the 17th of this month, as we continue to administer the shots for those who are eligible to receive them. So I recommend just contact the local health department or visit the My Vaccine website, which is, I'm looking for that right now, it just escaped me, myvaccinegeorgia.com. Okay. And then with the providers, you have Walgreens will be walgreens.com/carefinder vaccine and COVID-19.
Have the state legislature, have y'all gotten y'all's vaccine? Are y'all top on the list, like the governor and the president and stuff like that? Or are y'all in line with everybody else that's not over 65?
Well, we're in line with everyone else. I know that they had a day where those who were over 65 were allowed to get the shot here at the Capitol. We were in recess that day, if I remember correctly, but they have, those who were over 65 have had the opportunity to receive it. Yes, sir.
Well, I've had both of my shots and I'm doing fine. So
good. That's good to hear.
Yep. Didn't have problems with either one of them.
So hopefully we can continue to, follow protocols as we need to do. And once we get more of the shots out there, hopefully we can get back to some sense of normalcy, whatever the new normal looks like. I know everyone is ready to do that.
It's the new normal. That's the buzzwords right now. The new normal.
We have no idea what's going to look like.
Is what it is.
I don't know about y'all, but doing an elbow bump or a fist bump to shake somebody's hand just is not quite the same as a firm handshake. So I kind of look forward to getting back to that.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree wholeheartedly there.
Go to a high school baseball game, I promise you, there's no social distancing there. Friday night it was packed in Pierce County from wall to wall. So.
COVID does not exist at baseball games, all right?
What else is on the agenda up there in Atlanta? What else should we be looking for, Stephen?
Well, we've also got a Patients Visitation Act that we'll be doing today as well. That's granting visitation for hospitals and long-term care facilities for patients. And that'll be probably one of the first bills we do if I had to guess. But making sure that we're opening up and patients who are in the hospital for more than 12 hours have guardians and caregivers that have access to them. It's been a difficult time the past 12 months, and with loved ones in the hospitals, and we certainly understand that, and it's time to act on that. But that also gives those facilities the ability to adopt their safety protocols to continue to protect the workers and physicians in hospitals while granting some access to the patients and their families for visitation.
I did read somewhere where there's a bill being proposed where it would limit the power of the governor, where he couldn't shut down church services, he couldn't do certain things, couldn't prevent people from visiting people in the hospital. Do you know anything about that bill and where that stands?
I know the Senate adopted that bill or passed that bill last week. We haven't seen it in the House yet, or I haven't even heard any conversation from the committee regarding that. But I'm sure we will as time goes on. And my guess is when we grant the governor broad powers to emergency powers as we did last year, there was some concern. But I think there's the thought process of, hey, let's go ahead and address this while we have the opportunity to make sure that in the future that we don't have the ability to close churches, et cetera, but can also adopt standards and protocol to protect everyone.
Again, on the phone with us is State Representative Stephen Meeks. Again, do you think the budget will pass the way it's proposed, or do you think there's always negotiations? But 27.2
there's always negotiations. Chairman Tillery has done a tremendous job in the Senate. I know whenever we did the amended budget, there was very few differences between the House and the Senate. When you get to the Senate, everybody's priorities are a little different. But my guess is it'll be somewhat close to where we are in the House, and we can go ahead and get that done. But again, Chairman Terry England from over in Winder, Georgia, a longtime friend, and Chairman Tillery, again, they just do it's great work. It's a lot of times we think about this as a 2 or 3 week process during the session of writing these budgets, but in reality, it's a full-time gig. Following the budget, making number crunching, et cetera. Whenever you pass the budget, it's like it never ends because you're always watching revenue. You're always watching, the other factors that go into our economy, inflation, et cetera, on where we are. And they're making sure that we're passing fiscally responsible budgets to keep our fiscal house in order in our state, which is number one, constitution required, but one thing we should be doing as well. So, but I would think it would be pretty close. But again, you never know where the priorities may lie with the members of the body.
And how soon are we to crossover day? I know that's coming up shortly. How many more days?
Crossover day is today.
It's today, okay.
Today.
You got to get those bills in by today, or you have to wait till next year.
Matter of fact, I've got to run and step into a meeting over in the Capitol, but crossover day is today, so it'll be a long day. We'll likely, I think last year we went about 11 o'clock p.m., so it'll be a long day. So a lot of things happen today. A lot of legislation will get looked at and debated and passed or fail as we move throughout today.
Okay, well, we'll let you get to those meetings. Again, we appreciate you being here on Mondays with me. It's always fun. One before you go, and we ask all the time, what's on the mind of constituents? If they need to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do it?
Email is stephen.meeks@georgia.house.gov. And as we office number here in Atlanta is 404-656 0178, and I got my email address backwards. It's stephen.meeks@house.ga.gov. And
if you can't remember,
always shoot me a text or call me on the cell, and that's 912-207-0813. And I just always enjoy hearing from constituents back home and what's on their mind, and always appreciate the opportunity to be with y'all.
Okay. Always good talking to you.
Good.
We'll look forward to seeing you when you get
y'all
back.
Have a good day. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Take care, Stephen. All right, State Representative Stephen Meeks here on Zoom this morning, letting us know what's going on at the Gold Dome. And if you can't remember all that, all you got to do is your search bar and just put in State Representative Stephen Meeks, Georgia, and it'll have his email address there and everything. Those search bars are pretty good, Bob. Go in there and you can put anything in there. I mean, who sits around and puts all this information in there? Because, you can go to some search bars and you can put in a subject and there'll be like 3 million sites for it. Or something else like that. It's just amazing to me who sits around and puts all this information on a daily basis into all these search engines. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, there's got to be these people sitting around these cubicles just typing away, putting in all this information. And where do they get the information from? I mean, it's a lot of research and typing and implementation into all these different search engines out there. But we do appreciate Stephen zooming in this morning and letting us know what's going on. It's interesting having Stephen on Mondays, and then Tuesdays with State Senators Blake Tillery, and then Wednesdays with Bill Werkheiser. Just great for these guys to take out, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes of their time on Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, and Wednesday mornings to let us know what's going on.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, because, you can do a little bit of interviews with them, but having a long program like this really lets us get into the different subjects and lets them explain in a little more detail about what's going on. All right. Well, Bob, anything happening this week and news-wise that you're keeping an eye on or you'll be covering here in the Jessup Wayne County area?
Not really.
Oh, not really? Just waiting for the news just to pop up, huh? Just waiting for something to pop up. Is that right, Bob?
You got a school board meeting tomorrow, but I'll be at the
got a school board meeting.
I'll be at a baseball game.
But there is a school board meeting. Yeah, there's something going on. School board meeting tomorrow. Are they doing anything, I guess they're probably still getting a lot of personnel stuff right now with hiring and retiring and transfers and that kind of stuff. That's usually big this time of year.
I didn't see anything interesting on the agenda. That's for
Nothing
sure.
interesting on the school board agenda, huh, Bob?
I didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything at all. But I know we do have a baseball game tomorrow. Is that Brantley County here?
Brantley County here.
Brantley County here tomorrow at Howard Bullhorn Field, 6 o'clock. First pitch is normal.
Yep.
Okay, so that ought to be interesting. Ought to be a very interesting game when Pierce County comes over here after that game in Pierce County on Friday. Ought to be a very interesting gathering.
There'll be another big crowd, I'm sure.
Another big crowd.
I think it's a Tuesday, a week from Tuesday.
A week from Tuesday, Pierce County coming across the county line there to be here next week after that exciting game down there in Blackshear this past Friday.
It's a good ball game.
Yeah.
1 to the 6, just actually a couple of walks. Place to double, so.
These border wars with all these counties around us.
Score early, just in a cash in, so can't strand base runners early. So
no,
but it's a good ball game, good high school game. Like I said, place was packed, good crowd.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, all these border war games are great. Pierce County and Appling County and Brantley County and even we're not playing them right now, but it used to be Glenn and Glenn County and
still play Glenn. We're going to play Baxley Friday.
We're going to play Baxley Friday. Okay, so Appling there.
That's the schedule this week. Tuesday at home against Brantley. Friday on the road at Appling County.
Okay,
that's the two games this week. Tuesday, Friday this week.
Good.
So,
so when do we begin region play?
Couple more weeks. Then we begin. Do we do it like last year? Play 3 times in a row against the same team, like it was a playoff. Right.
Okay. So when we play Ware County, it'll be boom, 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 and then we play Veterans, boom, 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 and Warner Robins, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, Veterans and Warner
Coffee,
Robins
boom, boom, boom.
have double headers because of the travel. So
okay.
But the Ware County games are 3 different games, and the Coffee games are 3 different games. 2 at home, 1 on there. Not much. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it's a 3-game series. So.
Okay.
It should be fun. Should be an interesting region.
Yeah, ought to be. Be first time in baseball, so it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. Of course, we're still Ware County. It seems like no matter where we go, we're always with them lately, and the last couple of times that we've been hooked up in regions. But people love their baseball here in South Georgia. High school, we carry the Braves. We have been ever since 1971. This will be our 51st season of bringing Braves baseball to Southeast Georgia. Thousands of fans through all the counties in Southeast Georgia listen to Braves baseball every single year here on 105.5 FM. You go to a high school baseball game, like you said, in Pierce County or here in Wayne County, it's packed. People in South Georgia love their baseball.
Braves start April 1st. Can't wait.
Yeah. Go out to the recreation department when they're playing baseball out there, and all the kids out there. It's packed out there.
I think they open up late this month. Got to get spec in here. I think somebody told me the 29th of March.
29th of March is when they start their season out there at the rec. I know they're practicing now.
Yeah, they're getting ready. The teams have been selected, so teams are practicing, but they got opening day coming up shortly. So,
are they going to have one big opening day on Saturday, or they just start staggered?
I can't remember.
I think last time they staggered, but other years they've had a big opening day. So I don't know what it's going to be like. Spec can let us know.
Spec will let us know. He said he'd be in before the opening day, so he'll give us all the details.
Sounds good. Well, did you watch any of the NBA All-Star game?
None.
No, neither did I.
Could care less about the NBA.
You could care less. Don't really care much about, and I was thinking about
I watched Gladys Knight sing the national anthem.
That would have been a treat. That woman can sing, and she can sing with passion. So
I like Gladys Knight.
I like Gladys Knight, yeah.
Watched a little bit of the pregame show because I like Shaq. Shaq's funny.
Shaq's funny. There's no doubt about that.
As far as the game goes, I turned it off. I was watching the interview with the king and the queen.
Oh, you give me a break. Those publicity hound-seeking folks, controversy sells. If they'd have got on there and said, yeah, everything was fine with the queen, and we just got along with her, we just wanted to set our own path, and they wished us the best, nobody would have tuned in. But when you get on there and create controversy, when you use certain words that create fires under people, ratings come, money flows, controversy sells, Bob.
I think it's a great story. They just said, to heck with the palace, we're out. We're going to have our own life. I like it.
Well, that's fine. If they want to have their own life, that's fine. But, there's one thing about doing that and trashing your relatives, but that's just the way it is. I mean, controversy sells. Without, if it wasn't for that, they wouldn't have got the ratings, and they won't get the money. Controversy will keep them on the path of keeping their pockets lined.
I'm sure the ratings for that were a lot higher than the NBA basketball.
They were big, Bob.
I can promise you that.
They were big, and people who will believe their interview based on their belief levels. If they believe that Harry and Meghan are telling the truth, they'll believe that. If they don't, they won't, no matter what the truth may be. People believe the way they want to believe.
I was really flipping back and forth between that and The Water Boy. The Water Boy was on last night. So
The Water Boy?
Every time The Water Boy
Adam
was on,
Sandler?
every time that's when I got to watch that. I love that movie.
That is one of Adam Sandler's best movies right there is Water Boy.
When he attacks the professor. And he shows up at the party. The professor's all bandaged up with black eyes, scared to death of him.
Yeah. That's a good movie right there. Adam Sandler's got some good ones, and he's got some turkeys, and that's a good one.
That's a classic movie. I think they're thinking about having a sequel to The Water Boy, too. So I've heard
sequel?
That. Yeah.
What, would he be, a coach now?
I don't know, but I need another Water Boy movie. That would be.
Yeah, hey, maybe he's the Water Boy in a senior living.
It's just one of those movies I have to watch whenever it's on. It's just a funny movie.
Well, NASCAR started off pretty good this year. They've had different winners. Kyle Larson won yesterday. You've had some young winners. You've had a person who's Dow who won the Daytona 500, who's older but hadn't won a big race or hadn't won a race. So you've got a lot of new faces there in the winner's circle this year, and NASCAR is going to have more road courses this year. They're going to put the dirt down at Bristol, doing things to make it more exciting this year in NASCAR. And I love watching and listening to NASCAR.
I watched a lot of golf yesterday. Bryson DeChambeau won the Arnold Palmer Invitational, one shot better than Lee Westwood. Now they're going to TPC this weekend, so that'll be fun.
TPC this weekend?
Yeah, TPC
going down
this
to
weekend.
Ponte Vedra.
Yep, they moved straight up from Arnold Palmer's course to Ponte Vedra. So
it didn't have to go far, huh?
So, but it was a good tournament yesterday. Like I said, Bryson DeChambeau beat Lee Westwood by one stroke, so it was a good tournament.
Okay.
And he was excited to win that. He got to meet Arnold Palmer before he passed, so they showed pictures of that and showed the letter that Arnold Palmer wrote him when he won his first PGA Tour victory. He said he has that framed in his house, so it was a good story. But the TPC this weekend should be fun.
Ought to be fun.
The Island Green. I think I'll bring my plaque in just
we can hold it up to the camera and show folks that you hit the 17th
I
green.
tried to find that person that sent that little mean text in about that. That's the only green I hit, but I couldn't find that.
It wasn't mean. It was lighthearted. That was lighthearted and teasing, Bob.
That was mean.
Saying that was the only green you've ever hit.
I think that was just mean. That's bullying right here.
You know that's what guys do to each other. We razz each other. The more we razz you, the more we like you.
You're not allowed to bully anymore. That was a bully comment right there.
What's that?
That was a bullying comment.
A bully. See, here we go. There's certain words out there people use. Oh, I didn't mean to bully you. Did I hurt your feelings, Bob? I'm so sorry.
It's just vicious.
That's what people say. Well, you go enjoy your breakfast, Bob. All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by First Southern Bank, by Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, by O'Quinn and Associates, Sean O'Quinn, and Country Financial, and by Murphy Builder Supply.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.